In the last video, you guys saw me get this pig feeder all cleaned up with the pressure washer with the idea of coming back in with the wire wheel, getting this all cleaned up down here along the feed pan and putting some bed liner on this, so hopefully this is a little bit more durable for a longer period of time. So I picked up some Herculiner at the store the other day, and I don't know if this is the best do-it-yourself bed liner out there, but I do know that I applied it to this toolbox here on my trailer about 20 years ago, and it still looks pretty decent to me. So the plan is to get at least one side of this done today. I'm guessing that what I'll end up having to do is like flipping the feeder upside down to get bed liner on all the bottom parts that are hard to reach when it's standing upright like it is now. And then once the stuff on the bottom dries, we can flip it over again and complete it on the top, or vice versa, however it works out. I mean, it seems like I could probably do a lot of the top and then flip it and get it up on stands and then do the bottom, do it all in one shot. I don't know. We'll figure it out when we get to that point. First, we got to get it all wire wheeled and cleaned up and ready to go, and then we can worry about that. So that is the primary objective this morning, and then I've got to get this off of this tractor because we got hay to rake this afternoon. That's what's going on today on Farmer Tyler Ranch. That wasn't as graceful as it was supposed to be. When I went to clean this feeder up, I was just thinking about using the wire wheel on my grinder, and then when I was looking for a grinder with a wire wheel on it, I remembered that I have this surface conditioning tool. What these are designed for is removing paint, rust, mill scale, basically all of the things that I'm trying to get off of this metal, and I totally forgot that I had it. And I guess that's how you know when you've got too many tools. Just kidding, you can never have too many tools. I'm not gonna try to put bed liner in here, like where the feed actually will be, because I'm just thinking if I do that, without a doubt, the pigs will end up eating some of it, and I don't know if that's bad for them or what that might cause to happen. So the rust inside here is actually not bad, and it's there mostly because of my own negligence, in that when we harvested the pigs last year, I should have pulled the feeder out right then and there and cleaned it out, and then I don't think this would have rusted at all. Pretty much good. I think we're good on top. What I'm going to do now is pull this out in a spot where I can leave it to dry for at least a day or two, and we'll flip it upside down and paint the bottom. We might have a problem. My problem that I should have anticipated is everywhere I want to grab to tip it all the way over is wet because it has fresh bed liner on it. So my plan is to stick this pipe into the skid, and then that'll give me something to grab onto, and hopefully I can just tip it over. Well, that worked like a charm. Well, using the masking tape just seems silly now when I look at all the drips that I got on this thing. But aside from the drips, I think it looks pretty good, and it should be a lot more durable than it was before. They say wait 24 hours before you put this bed liner in use, but I think I'm gonna wait like 2, maybe 3 days before I tip this back over and put it in the pig pen, because I really want this to last. So I wanna make sure that it's good and cured. The sunshine and hot weather ought to help that, but still, I'd rather be on the safe side. Let's get the forks off the New Holland and get the 260 hooked up, and I think that hay ought to be ready to rake. It's about 1:40. It'll be at least 2 o'clock before we get over there. That ought to be about right. Well, I sure do love a freshly raked field. I don't know what it is about it, but it just looks nice. And as pretty as it looks, I gotta say, this paddock is rough. I mean, the last one was rough too. Really, all of these are, you know, it is pasture, and pasture gets rough. It's a little bit hard on me bouncing around, but it's even worse on the equipment. And there were a couple of spots where I had to slow down because the rake was just about bouncing off the ground. But with all that being said, I'm looking at the rake teeth here, and it does not look like I broke any of the new ones, which is something that I was very curious to see how that would go. I think it was in the last video I put like 29 replacement rake teeth on here, and they were cheap. They were the cheapest ones that I could find, and I was wondering if they were just going to end up breaking like the first time that I used them, and it doesn't look like they did. So this is good. We'll see how long they last. It's pretty easy to tell which ones they are because they've got the little barcode, but if that comes off, then we've got a brand new bolt, and that should stay noticeable for a while. And I brought the tongue jack with me today because I thought there's really no sense running this rake up and down the road all the time when I know that I've got to bring it back in a couple of days to rake this again before I bale it. So I'm just gonna park it right here in the field, and then it's less road miles on the rake. And not to mention the fact that you saw earlier in the video, it's kind of hard getting this thing through the gate. So if I can just park it right here, that's gonna make my life a little bit easier. And one more thing about this tractor while I'm standing here in front of it and thinking about it. In the last video, I was talking about how I want to add rear remotes to the tractor and how I had ordered the parts to do it. And several of you said that part of the kit that I need was back ordered, or they don't make it anymore. or whatever the case. But anyway, I don't know if you guys just knew that or if you looked it up, but you're right. I got an email saying that that kit was on back order and they didn't expect to have it until early part of November, and that is also subject to change. I translate that as meaning you may never get it. So I decided to just not get the kit with the lever and the couplers and all that. I still have the valve coming, and I think that I can just run hydraulic hoses off of the valve and then build a mount for couplers somewhere and then fabricate my own lever, and I don't see why that wouldn't work. So if you know a reason why that wouldn't work, please let me know. But that's the new plan. I am still moving forward with the remotes, but it's not going to be as easy as I thought it was. I was just about ready to get out of here and I saw the bulls riding a cow. I got to see who this is, because if she's getting bred now, she's going to be pretty late. So this is who they were riding, cow number 14. So number 14, that's actually not a huge surprise to me. That's the cow that she was a little bit late this year and I had to pull her calf. It was, yeah, that one wasn't breech. I don't remember what the problem was with it, why she couldn't deliver it. I think the legs were mixed up or something. Anyway, I had to pull that calf. It was dead, and then I grafted the teen mom calf onto that cow. That's who number 14 is. With that difficult delivery, I was kind of wondering if she was going to have trouble getting bred. So that might be one that I want to try to preg check in a couple of months just to see where she's at. If she was to get bred today by those guys, which is a real possibility because they're not leaving her alone. There's not much else for them to do out here, but that would put her calf in around mid-June, which is really a little bit later than I'd like it to be. So we'll see what things look like. But yeah, she might be on that list. It's a few hours later now, although it occurs to me that the last thing that I filmed was basically in the same place. So, you know, there's that. Time to move the cows into the next paddock, and I did want to just go out and take a close look at the paddock that they're in now and see how the grass looks with them coming off of it. You see the pasture that they're going into now is tall, but a lot of this is in a more mature stage than the cattle really like to eat. When it gets to this point, it's less palatable, and actually the nutrition value is lower as well because the plant starts putting all that energy into the seed head. I've got a calf that is just bound and determined to run all the way to the end, I think, before she's going to stop and turn around and go back the other way, where she should know by now that's where we change pastures. You ready to turn around yet? All right. You'll notice that you can tell the grass has been hit. It's been grazed, obviously. They've been out here for 2 days. But what I hope comes across on camera is how relatively uniform everything has been grazed. They haven't really been like eating a lot here, not a lot there. It looks like they've pretty well evenly grazed the whole thing. And what I like seeing the best is that as I look across this paddock and see that everything is grazed down, but it's not overgrazed. They haven't picked it right down to the ground to where it's only a ½ inch tall. That means that the grass still has enough surface area. Oh, you calves, I tell you. Ay, ay, ay. You guys, you need to turn around. They need to turn around. They don't want to do it. Here's a little trick that works sometimes. So if I unclip the wire, I can pull it and get it on that side of them. So that'll be good for those two. And yeah, not these two. We're gonna go all the way to the end, to the wrong end? Is that what we're doing? Well, I guess I'm gonna walk down here all the way to the end a couple times today. These calves are really pushing me for some reason. But anyway, what I was saying about the grass is that when you have this much left behind, you've got surface area on the blades of the grass or the leaves, you know, if you want to call it that. And because of that fact, the plant can harvest more sunlight and grow and recover more quickly than what it would be able to if it was only this tall. Okay, we ready to go back now? And I know I've talked about this a lot before and not that long ago, but today I guess is the first opportunity that I really thought I could show you what I'm trying to say. Wrong way. Okay, there we go. Thought they were still gonna miss it. Well, I tell you, sometimes they really make you earn it. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys, and I hope I'll see you again on Farmer Tyler Ranch.